And here we are again, and yes, the Cruiser has earned another trophy. That is a second place trophy in the stock windshield at the Fall Bash Derby at Wolf's Corner, just outside of Tynesta. And you can see she a little muddy. It's been raining on and off all day. It's almost like a light drizzle right now. The day after the Derby night ended up being a beautiful night. A little warmer than I thought it was going to be. I mean, a little bit of sprinkling here and there. It rained on the way to the Derby a little bit, but that's really it. But as you can see, she's all used up, you could say, in the body department. You can see how the roof on the back, it's really kind of pressing up above the door. Again, shout out to the seat belts and duct tape. The free 99, as I say, still holding on. But you can see how it's starting to really buckle, in particular, like right here in front of the rear door, almost down. And that's where the track at Wolf's Corner, it's a long track. 11 cars were in the feature there, the feature I ran in. Oh man, there was 7 or 8 guys that I've derby with before that know what they're doing, had tough cars, even though most all of us were kind of pre-ran cars. I think there's 1, maybe 2 that like look fresh. They hadn't been run before. The rest of us had at least been run once. I'd probably say none were in the condition that mine was, at least body-wise. But yeah, ran great derby. It has a little bit of a crown, as I was starting to say, in the middle, and toward the end there I was starting to drag a little bit on it. So I was just nose forward, trying to stay off the clock, keep making contact. Probably went almost 20 minutes. Ran hot, probably at least the last 10. Referring to just, it's kind of a weird setup. To get into the pit, it's like a little bit of a drive. And then once we were in there, we probably sat there and waited for 3, almost 4 minutes. They just weren't quite as quick as I would have liked them to be, especially when, you're in a derby car. A lot of us have either loop lines or, they just start to get hot and then they start to throw fits. So, yeah, I'm in top of the 20 minutes, almost the derby was that I ran all the way down to second. Probably at least 4 or 5 minutes driving into the pit, as well as sitting in the pit on top of that. So almost 30 minutes, at least 25 minutes. But she did great. As you can see, starting to press a little bit down on top as I was hitting with the front, and a couple of cars were bigger than me. Or, like I said, slightly rounded pit. They were a little bit above me. But inside, just to see, again, she's Money Mess the spare tire still together, still holding on. But again, you can see how she's really lifting up, and in particular that left side pressing in, and you can see the roof too, how it was already buckling in. I've been sitting on that too, getting in and out, but you can see how it's actually separating from the door. But the darndest thing of it all, she drove on the trailer again. So it got hot, as I was saying. It was sputtering a little bit. I was trying to watch the RPMs. I knew it was hot, and I knew that if I stalled, it probably wasn't going to restart. And whenever one guy kind of got stuck, and another guy that actually won, he was heating up, and his car was barely moving, but he was making contact. I'm like, I'll just watch the RPMs, don't let it sputter out and stall, because it was sputtering a little bit. And I hit a guy, and I backed up to go hit him again, and it sputtered a little bit, and I lost it. And she was just too hot to refire. I actually refired a couple of times. Something that I probably should have done, as I've got my tarp here over my derby tank and my battery, but should have put probably a toggle switch for the fuel instead of running directly to the battery lines. And as soon as I hit the terminals, they're powering up. Just easier to have a toggle switch, just run the lines up to the switch, positive, negative, and then from the switch down, so that you're controlling it there. Because whenever it stalls, it gets so tricky, or whenever it was getting hot and I needed to disconnect the terminals to kind of reset it, or just to refire it, I didn't want it to flood itself. And it's just hard whenever, you're doing it that much and the car's direct wired like it was. So, but yeah, she still runs. And I say that because I think I might just keep her over the winter here, see if I can tuck her in a corner, put a tarp over or something, and see if I can maybe get this side. You can see how it's not clearing by much, but it is clearing the other side with that flat spare tire. It's not quite clearing. It's pretty much almost sitting on it. Show here the ground, that is. So you can see how it's buckled a little bit more, and it's almost dragging, especially when you get in the mud, or a little bit of a uneven. It's kind of dragging. So just like 2-3 inch spare tire, which I do believe I have another one. should be able to have enough clearance that at least my buddy had a poor run in his first run, you know, let him try to have some fun in it, because even though she still runs, I'm going to retire. 4 runs in, 3 first place trophies, and one second place. What a run. But yeah, she got hot, shut down, and I knew it would refire, and sure enough, you know, they pulled me out after the Derby, and I let it set for a while, and 2 other features came back out and started right up. Drove on the trailer again. So take a quick look under the hood here, and then we'll wrap up. But she's all used up body wise, but like I said, I think I might keep her around and let my buddy just kind of go out there nose forward for 3 or 4, maybe 5 minutes and have some fun before we scrap her. Let's look under the hood. So just looking under the hood again, the top of the core support, as I cut that bottom part off, as it was serving no purpose. I actually unbolted it rather, and it just fell off as it served no purpose. But top of the core support with the hood there got pressed in a little bit. You can see it busted the top of the just the oil measuring stick there, but pressed close to the motor, but didn't actually damage anything. Again, everything's as is. Here's my wire kind of fix up. I spliced all the wires back together there and just secured them. Again, they worked fine. Looped, almost got pressed in the top of the core support there into my loop piece, but again, that's fine. And the spray foam, you can see how it's all holding tough again. Just sprayed around the starter, the loop tranny lines here, and then the electrical wires in through here, just in case. You can see how this got pressed a little bit up. But it all did what it was supposed to. She just ran hot for so long in her 4th full Derby. Had that little in-between run. And oh yeah, I wanted to mention this. So this is like an engine mount here that kept popping out. So I just ran my ratchet strap from inside, kind of where the control arm is here, over to there and pulled it tight to keep that from popping out, because the motor was shifting a decent amount whenever it would pop out. So I did that. I forgot to mention in the build, but again, she had a good run. The last 5 to 8 minutes, I was nose forward, trying to stay off the clock because it was running hot. You can see just how used up the body is. But what a car. 2002 PT Cruiser, 4 full Derbies, 3 first place. See, I ran in a feature with 5 cars and 1 at transfer. See, it was 11 or 12, I believe it was, at the one near Erie, and then Cochranton Ring of Fire. There was, I think, what was there, 14 of us, I believe, in that one, and then there was 11 last night. So great car, great run, a lot of fun. And again, the cruisers are tough. You just got to keep those front wheels clean, and even then, this girl took a couple wheel shots. You can just see how tough it is. So that's her. As I said, I think I'm gonna, as it still runs and drives, I'm probably definitely gonna take the struts and the control arms and the tie rod, as well as the steel spindles off, because I plan on getting a cruiser again, and these guys are in good shape and just tough. And then the other parts, just scrap the car. But I think I might keep it around until through the winter, and not myself, but see if I can get that just a little bit higher with the spare tire here to get off the trailer. And if I can, I'll probably just set it aside and cover it up and let my buddy have a little fun in it next year before a scrapper. So 2002 PT Cruiser, great car, 2nd place, nice Derby at the fall bash at the Wolf's Corners and Tie Nest. Good time, great car.